There is a body buried on a beach somewhere in the Indian Ocean right now. It has been there since November 2018. The Indian government knows exactly which beach. They have seen it from helicopters. They have sent boats. They have mapped the location. They have decided not to retrieve it. The body belongs to a 26-year-old American named John Allen Chau. He went to that island on purpose. He had planned the trip for years. He trained for it. He got vaccinated for it. He quarantined himself before going so he wouldn't accidentally get anyone sick. He is still there. He will be there forever. And the reason nobody will go get him is stranger than anything you are expecting. North Sentinel Island sits in the Bay of Bengal, roughly 50 kilometers off the coast of the Andaman Islands, which are themselves about 1,400 kilometers from the Indian mainland. It is approximately the size of Manhattan, 60 square kilometers of dense tropical jungle surrounded by a coral reef that makes it nearly impossible to approach by boat. Nobody has ever mapped its interior. Nobody has ever learned its language. Nobody even knows what the people who live there call themselves. The name Sentinelese was given to them by outsiders. Their actual name for their own tribe, if they have one, is completely unknown. What is known is this: people have been living on North Sentinel Island for approximately 60,000 years. That is longer than written language has existed. Longer than agriculture. Longer than the wheel. The Sentinelese are believed to be direct descendants of the first humans who migrated out of Africa, a continuous unbroken population that has lived on the same small island for 60,000 years without contact with the outside world. The population today is estimated at somewhere between 50 and 400 people. Nobody knows the exact number because nobody has been close enough to count. What everyone who has tried to get close has discovered is the same thing every time. Bows. Arrows. Get out. The British found the island in 1771 when a surveyor named John Ritchie passed it on an East India Company ship and noted it in his log. His log entry is the first recorded mention of North Sentinel Island in Western history. He did not attempt to land. In the 1880s, a British colonial officer named Maurice Vidal Portman decided to try. Portman was the officer in charge of the Andamanese, a title that would sound important if not for the fact that the job consisted primarily of documenting tribes that did not want to be documented and making contact with people who did not want contact made. Portman landed on North Sentinel Island with a large party. The Sentinelese fled into the jungle. After several days searching the island, Portman's team found only an elderly couple and 4 children who were too sick to escape. Portman took all 6 of them back to the main Andaman Island for what he described as study and observation. The 2 adults died almost immediately from illness. The 4 children were returned to North Sentinel Island carrying whatever diseases had killed the adults. Nobody knows what happened after that. Nobody has ever been able to ask. In 1974, a National Geographic film crew attempted contact. They brought gifts: a miniature plastic car, some coconuts, some fish, a live pig. A Sentinelese man shot the film director in the thigh with an arrow. The pig was speared on the beach. The coconuts were kept. The car was buried in the sand. In 1991, anthropologist Triloknath Pandit, who had been attempting contact for 2 decades, finally succeeded. The Sentinelese came to the water's edge and accepted coconuts directly from the research team. The team called it the last first friendly encounter in history. Pundit described the moment as bittersweet. Contact was attempted several more times over the following years. By 1996, the Indian government had decided the contact program was doing more harm than good and quietly ended it. In 2004, the Indian Ocean tsunami killed 230,000 people across 14 countries. The Indian government sent a helicopter to check whether the Sentinelese had survived. A tribesman on the beach fired an arrow at the helicopter. But they had survived. In 2006, 2 Indian fishermen named Sundar Raj and Pandit Tiwari fell asleep on their boat while illegally fishing near the island. The boat drifted ashore overnight, By the time the Indian Coast Guard helicopter arrived to check on them the following morning, both men were dead on the beach. The helicopter descended to retrieve the bodies. Arrows were fired at the helicopter. The Coast Guard left. The bodies of Sundar Raj and Pandit Tiwari are still on the island. John Allen Chau was born in Alabama in 1991. He became interested in converting uncontacted tribes while still in high school, specifically because they were uncontacted. He believed that every person on earth deserved to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ, and the Sentinelese were the most isolated people on earth, which in his framework made them the most urgent case. He spent almost a decade preparing. He went on missionary trips to Mexico, Israel, and Iraq. He trained with an evangelical organization called All Nations International, which ran what they described as boot camp-style preparation, including mock scenarios where staff pretended to be hostile tribespeople so that missionaries could practice their responses. He studied linguistics. He learned some words from related Andamanese languages, hoping there might be overlap. He got vaccinated for every disease he could think of. He quarantined himself for 11 days before the trip so that he would not accidentally carry a cold to an island where a cold could kill everyone. He kept a meticulous 13-page journal of his plan. He paid 2 fishermen approximately $350 to take him near the island. On November 15, 2018, Chau canoed toward the shore of North Sentinel Island alone. The Sentinelese responded with bows. He retreated. In his diary that night he wrote, "I hollered, 'My name is John, I love you and Jesus loves you.'" He went back the next day. A young Sentinelese man fired an arrow that pierced the waterproof Bible Chau was holding against his chest. He retreated again. That night he wrote in his diary and asked whether the island might be, in his words, Satan's last stronghold on earth. On November 17, 2018, Chau told the fishermen to leave without him. He paddled toward the island alone. The fishermen watched from a distance. They saw him reach the shore. They saw him walking on the beach. They left as he had asked. The next morning they returned. From a distance they saw a dead figure being dragged across the beach, then buried. From the silhouette of the body, the clothing, and the circumstances, they reported to police, it appeared to be the body of John Allen Chau. They did not go ashore. They went back to Port Blair and gave Chau's diary to his friend. The Indian government opened a murder case. The named suspect, unknown tribespeople. There was never any suggestion that anyone would be charged. The US government confirmed it did not ask India to press charges against the tribe. 7 people were arrested, the fishermen who had helped Chau reach the island. They were charged with facilitating illegal access to a restricted area. Indian authorities attempted to recover Chau's body. They sent patrol boats and flew helicopter overflights. The Sentinelese appeared on the beach carrying bows and arrows whenever the boats came close. An anthropologist involved in the recovery effort told The Guardian that the risk of a dangerous confrontation was too great to justify continuing. The Indian government abandoned the recovery effort. John Allen Chau has been on that beach since November 2018. He will remain there. In March 2025, 6 years after Chau's death, an American social media influencer named Mikhailu Polyakov illegally landed on the island for a few minutes. He didn't see any Sentinelese. He left a can of Diet Coke and a coconut as offerings. He filmed himself. He was arrested by Indian police when he returned to the mainland and described himself to reporters as a thrill seeker. The Diet Coke is presumably still on the beach. Here is what makes this story genuinely strange. The Sentinelese know we exist. They have seen our helicopters. They have seen our boats. They have retrieved metal from our shipwrecks and used it to tip their arrows. They have watched us from the beach. They have made a decision, collectively, generationally, maintained across thousands of years, to want nothing to do with us. We do not know their language. We do not know their religion. We do not know their name for themselves. We do not know whether they have music. We do not know what they believe happens when they die. We do not know whether they have a word for the ocean. We do not know whether they know the island is small. We do not know if they know there are other islands nearby. We do not know if they know what is on those other islands. We know they are healthy. Observers from safe distances report seeing many children and pregnant women, a population that looks, by every visible measure, well-fed and thriving. We know their bows are precision instruments. Their arrows are tipped with salvaged metal worked by hand. They hunt game in the jungle. They fish the lagoon with handmade canoes. We know they survived the 2004 tsunami that killed 230,000 people. We know they have survived every contact attempt for 60,000 years. The island that kills everyone who finds it has one rule that has never changed once in 60,000 years. Nobody asked to be found. The Indian government's official position is that it has no intention of interfering with the lifestyle or habitat of the Sentinelese and is not interested in pursuing any further contact. The island is patrolled by the Indian Navy. The 3-mile exclusion zone is enforced. The law is clear. John Allen Chau's family released a statement after his death saying they forgave the tribe. The tribe does not know they were forgiven. The tribe does not know that John Allen Chau was ever there, at least not in the way we understand knowing. What they know is what they have always known. Someone came to their beach. They dealt with it the way they always have. And the morning after, the beach was quiet again.